In this video, I would like to introduce two figures associated with postmodernism. One is Jurgen Habermas and the other one is René Franco Lyotard. Both are very significant in postmodernist theory. The first figure, Jurgen Habermas, who was born in 1929 as a part of Frankfurt School of Critical Theory. A major moment in the history of postmodernism is the influential paper Modernity, an Incomplete Project, uh, delivered by Habermas in 1980. In this paper, Modernity and Incomplete Project, Habermas argues that the modern period begins with the Enlightenment period, the period of about 100 years from the mid 17th to the mid 18th century, when a new faith arose in the power of reason to improve human society. So he is arguing that if you go back to the roots, the modern period begins with the Enlightenment period. For example, especially reason, rationality, and science, such kinds of arguments were the central pillars of Enlightenment period. So he was saying that such ideas are expressed or embodied in the philosophy of Kant in Germany, Voltaire and Diderot in France, and Locke and Hume in Britain. In Britain, the term the Age of Reason was used to designate the same period. The so-called Enlightenment project is the fostering of this belief that a break with the tradition, blind habit, and slavish obedience to religious precepts and prohibitions, coupled with the application of reason and logic by the disinterested individual, can bring about a solution to the problems of society. So, the Enlightenment project believes in a scientific, rational uh, kind of a world, which reason and logic and science coupled with the science can bring about changes in the society. That was the crux of uh, Enlightenment period or the Enlightenment project. This outlook is what Habermas means by modernity. The French Revolution can be seen as a first attempt to test this theory in practice. For Habermas, this faith in reason and the possibility of progress survived into the 20th century and even survives the catalogue of disasters which makes up that century's history. So he is saying that modernism has its root in Enlightenment period. The cultural movement known as modernism subscribed to this project, this Enlightenment project, in the sense that it constituted a lament for a lost sense of purpose, a lost coherence, a lost system of values. So this is what Habermas argues by modernity, and he's saying that the thinkers like the post-structuralist thinkers of the 1970s, such as Derrida and Foucault, represented a specific repudiation or rejection of this kind of Enlightenment modernity. They attacked, in his view, the ideals of reason, clarity, truth, and progress, and as they were thereby detached from the quest for justice. So he calls them as young conservatives. So he says that, in his view, this ideals of reason, clarity, these are the ways in which human society can progress. And Foucault, Derrida, such thinkers are repudiating or rejecting the reason or progress. So they were disregarded by Habermas. So this is the way Habermas identifies modernism. Modernism has its roots, or the modern period begins with the Enlightenment period, and we need to focus on the values such as or ideas such as rationality, logic, progress, human progress, scientific progress, things like that. So this is one of the central ideas in his paper, Modernity and an Incomplete Project, published by Habermas or presented by Habermas in 1980. However, another thinker, Francois Lyotard, in his essay answering the question what is postmodernism, which is published in his work the Postmodern Condition, he rejects the views of Habermas. It is with Francois Lyotard's use of the term postmodern in this particular paper that the term postmodern became current. So he repudiates, so he rejects the arguments of Habermas. he opens with a move which effectively turns the debate into a struggle to demonstrate that one's opponents are the real conservatives. From every direction, he says that we are being urged to put an end to experimentation. So he says that Habermas is simply one voice in a chorus, which is calling for an end to artistic experimentation, and for order, unity, for identity, for security. In a word, though these voices want to liquidate the heritage of the avant-gardists. For Lyotard, the Enlightenment, whose project Habermas wishes to continue, is simply one of the would-be authoritative, overarching, totalizing explanations of things like Christianity, Marxism, or the myth of scientific progress. These meta-narratives or super-narratives, which purport or which intended to explain and reassure, are really illusions fostered in order to smother difference, opposition, and plurality. Hence, Lyotard's famous definition of postmodernism, that is, simply incredulity towards meta-narratives. Grand narratives of progress and human perfectibility then are no longer tenable or reasonable, and the best we can hope for is a series of mini narratives which are provisional, contingent, temporary, and relative, and which provide a basis for the actions of specific groups in particular local circumstances. So, in other words, postmodernism gives importance to mini narratives rather than meta narratives or grand narratives. Grand narrative is any kind of narrative which you're trying to tell us that there is one single homogeneous solution for every problem that we face. For example, the religion, for example, Christianity would say that there is one savior, and the savior would uh, you know help us in reaching back to the paradise. Or the Marxism would say that if you undertake the class struggle, the class war, and you will be able to bring out with a classless society, and class is the only way in which inequality strengthens. So there are any number of such narratives which says that there is one solution for all the problems. So any such grand narrative is being rejected by postmodernism. That is, uh, uh, Lyotard's view in his work, The Postmodern Condition, a report on knowledge. So this is the contribution by both Habermas and Lyotard, which led to the development of postmodern theory in a way. So we need to focus upon two things. One is postmodernism rejects any such grand narratives. Secondly, postmodernism believes in plurality, multiplicity, and any such uh, singular or monolithic or such kinds of homogeneous ideas are being rejected. So, what postmodernists argue is for mini narratives, provisional, contingent, and temporary, and relative, and which provide a basis for the actions of specific groups in particular local circumstances. So, there is no single solution for every problem. There are only mini narratives, provisional and contingent. So this is the basic idea that postmodernism focuses on plurality and multiplicity. They reject any singular mode of solutions. Thank you.